Aloha, everybody. Colo here from the Warrior Women in the World of Entrepreneurship podcast. I'm your host, and today is going to be another great episode with another wonderful warrior woman in the world of entrepreneurship. So I hope that you guys enjoy the show. Please don't forget to check out ANCORE Fitness. They have an incredible cable machine that you can bring anywhere. I use it all the time with my clients here at Tasco Fit Martial Arts and Fitness, and also with the Hawaii hurling team to help build that strength for sport-specific motions. So you can use our code with them when you're going to check out, and that's going to be Tasco Fit 11. So definitely check that out. It's going to change the game for you, your clients, and if you have a small gym, to use that. So enjoy the show, guys, and I hope to hear from you soon. Aloha, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Warrior Women in the World of Entrepreneurship podcast. I'm Colo, your host, and I'm joined today with another warrior woman guest, Patricia Serafini. So Patricia is a ceramist and pottery artist based in Hawaii. Her mission is to create beautiful and unique ceramics to add beauty to any home or office space, which you can actually see one of those things behind me here. So Patri, thank you so much for coming on. I'm so appreciative, and I'm all about supporting local business too. So welcome on.
Thank you very much, Colo, for having me. It's such an honor to be invited to be participating in this wonderful program. I am very humbled, and I am happy to help. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, of course. So I found out about you because a good friend of mine gifted me one of your mate. So like the ceramic mate that you had, and a bombisha, which is, for those of you that don't know out there, the type of straw that you use with the yerba mate, the actual herb, so that it doesn't, you don't suck it up. Which was
filter,
filter. I know that's an easy way to say that. So I started drinking it in Argentina. I think you guys have seen me drinking it sometimes on here, definitely on my Instagram. And it was incredible to even find somebody who had like a really nice bombisha and mate. So that's how I found you. So let's just talk about kind of even how you even got into being a ceramist. What started that for you, and how were you able to make it a business?
I started my interest of ceramics. It's kind of a silly thing. I was a little girl, my daughter's age, like 10 years old. And at the time, it was like 1992. And it was just like an image that projected into my mind. You know, I was watching Ghost with my grandma. You know the movie Ghost, the pottery, So it was not like the pottery scene that got me captivated, but it was the pottery process, like how she was touching and how she was building the pottery, like putting her whole hand inside, and oh my God, like this looks fascinating. And I totally saw myself doing that. And then years gone by, decades went by, and then I went to Japan. I had a chance to live in Japan for a couple of years.
Oh, wow.
I was so privileged. And then the Japanese culture, they are very respectful, and they really honor pottery. So I got to see some beautiful, beautiful and amazing art in there, amazing artists. But then it is quite of an investment as a hobby. So that idea kind of, went away. And then I had a chance to be here. And then throughout contacts and throughout, friends, they say, oh, I know that you're interested in pottery, but, there is a place, so-and-so that they teach pottery. And then that's kind of how it started. Like, I really got my interest on pottery. Like, oh my God, this is finally happening, like I can't believe, from the time that I was a little girl, and now it's happening, So I did a lot of handwork, slab work, like hand-built work. And then I saw a wheel, and I tried the wheel, and it was quite a bit intimidating, So then...
What's a wheel?
A wheel is, it's an equipment that you use to bake the pottery, so it turns,
Okay.
So, yeah.
Gotcha. Just figured I'd ask. I had an idea, but just so that we all knew.
Oh, of course. So then people know, yeah. So, and then it was just, just a hobby, just like a once a week, twice a week hobby. And then I had a kid, I had to stop for a while, and then I got back. And then a good friend, from our class, she was about to move away, and she was selling her wheel. And that is when everything like transitioned and started for me. Like having my own wheel, it was really transformational because I could practice, like even if the pieces don't turn out the way you are, you can just undo it, and do it again, endlessly until you get it. So that was a very transformational process. It was like an enlightenment of my journey into pottery.
Plus it's super helpful too, like if you can like create and recreate, because it's just like, basically it's like having a pencil, right? You get to do it again, and it's like, you don't have to spend as much money. I mean, it's definitely an investment. You're definitely spending money into it. But being able to kind of have that moment to be able to redo it if you're not happy with it, or if you know that it's not going to hold up. I mean, pottery is not easy to make, guys. Like I've had an aunt and also a good friend back in New York who like took up that hobby as well. And it was definitely difficult to make sure that the integrity of whatever that you're creating can maintain like strong. So it's like, my aunt tried to send it to me in the mail, which again, that's going to be whether the mail takes care of it or not, because it is ceramic, but at the same time, it's just like, trying to make sure that structure stays really strong is a skill for sure. And you've, like I said, you've made business out of it. So my friend was able to find you, I think at I don't know if we call it farmer's market here, or a market. So I guess when did you decide to really make it a business? Because obviously, like you said, you got the wheel and that was kind of like the catalyst to being able to do that. But how did it start for you? So like, what was your first sale, or what was your first thing that you did? Did you even start with a sale? Did you do more of like here, this is for you, this is for you, and people just started to see it?
It was, I would say that it was an experiment. So pottery at the time, it was just like a hobby. I was a full-time licensed massage therapist.
Oh, okay.
So it was more like, like a once in a while hobby. And then I got myself to, because I do many different things, like I try to diverse, and to do different things, I get bored quite easily,
Yep, me too.
So on the side, I am an Argentine tango dancer. I'm just a student, but I'm an Argentine tango dancer. I like to go dancing, like on the weekends. And throughout the pandemic, I had a really good friend. I have a really good friend, that helped me a lot. And we started drinking yerba mate. And then I noticed that the yerba mate gourds, they are beautiful. They're made of wood, and some of them are made of a fruit, that you just use the shell. But then I was noticing that it was like so hard and so difficult to clean. And in a way, they crack eventually, and then on the inside, they get moldy and they get slimy. And then the idea just clicked, and oh my God, like, hello, I am a ceramist, I am a pottery artist, like,
duh.
Duh. So then I decided to make my own designs, and it took like a good year of a lot of successful and a lot of failed experiments. And then one day I decided to have the courage, like, why don't I put this out? Why don't I put this idea out and see what is going to happen? So I posted on social media, and I was quite, like I had sales on it already.
Wow.
Yeah, I was really amazed by it. It's just like people from the tango community, or people that are acquainted with the yerba mate.
And that's here that you found that tango community?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
yes.
my gosh. We have to talk now, because I was wondering if there was one here, but I was like, they're not going to have one. And then I just didn't get a chance to look. So are you from Argentina as well, or you just visited there for a while?
No, I've never visited there, but I've been influenced my whole life. I am originally from South America, Brazil. I was born and raised in Brazil.
Oh, okay, cool.
So,
neighbors. Argentina and Brazil, yeah.
Yes, they are. So my grandma, she was a pianist. She was a piano teacher. So whenever she wanted to take a break from like the classical music, from the Mozart, from the Bach, Chopin, she played tango music, Argentine tango music. So I was raised, listening to La Comparsita, El Choco, El Ponoelito Blanco,
Yeah.
And then that just really clicked. And then she always, had TV shows, with tango, like in the background. And I was like, oh, this is pretty, but it looks way too fancy. you know?
And
And
Argentinian
then,
tango is like a whole different animal too, or like the original like animal. You know, we've seen like the other ones like French and Spanish versions, but the Argentinian tango is just
yeah, and very
so
different
intimate
versions, you
too.
know, like we have this version that we always see as stage tango, you know, where
Hmm.
there are the lifts and all the fancy dressings, you know.
Yeah.
But the social event is actually very, very much different. But it does take some kind of skill, does take, you know, practicing, you know, it's
Oh yeah.
not as easy as it sounds, but then it's just very captivating and very enticing to the soul, you know, it feeds your soul. So
Just
that is
like your
kind of
pottery.
just like, yeah. So then that idea just clicked, and like I don't like how the original gourds are, not because of the look, but for the versatility, how useful, you know, how user friendly they are. It was just really difficult to clean.
Yeah.
You know, like I would look in inside and I would see mold, I would see black stuff, and oh my
Yeah.
God, I don't like that. I don't feel comfortable knowing that I am drinking my mate, but I'm also
Yeah.
drinking this too. You know,
They
this
always
is
made
going.
that very normal in Argentina too. I was like, "Are you sure there's like there? No, it's not mold." And I'm like, "Are you sure? Because it's water." And so I did live in
It's
Buenos
green,
Aires for a little while.
you know, it's like powdery black, you
Yeah, I
know.
was like, "Is it moss then? Like, what the fuck is it?" So, sorry. So go ahead. So you're very influenced by them. Like I said, I did live in Argentina for a while, so that's
Oh,
how I found out about all this stuff. So again, it was
uh-huh.
really nice to be able to find it here. So you're from Brazil, and I know they do drink mate there though as well.
We do drink mate, but it's a different type. I mean, it's the same herb, but it's processed in a different way. So when it comes into mate, it goes to a harvesting process, it goes into a torching and then a smoking process, and then there is a selection process, you know. So the ones that are for the tea are the leaves that come absolutely perfect, and the ones that are not perfect, they go into the tea bags, yeah. So for us, we go through the same process except the torching process, and it's very shorter. So the yerba mate from Brazil is a lot greener because it has a lot more chlorophyll in it, but then the lifetime, it's a lot shorter. It's only a couple months versus the Argentine, you know, or the mate from Uruguay that lasts a lot longer.
Yeah.
But we use the same, you know, we use the same gourd, we use the same bombija. Maybe in Brazil it's a little bit different,
Yeah.
but you know, we drink it the same way, and it brings the same health benefits as well. But then I
Absolutely.
thought to myself, you know, like, why don't I blend, you know, like, why don't I try to make something like this, you know? And
Yep.
it actually turned out better, you know, like because of the shape, you know,
Yeah.
like the flavors are retained for a longer time, freshness.
Oh.
And then because it's ceramics, you know, it maintains the temperature, and then it's super easy and super nice to clean, you know, and it's not only limited to yerba mate, but you can use it for other teas too. You can use it for green tea, for Ceylon tea.
Yeah.
You can do the Chinese herbology with it, you know, because it has the bombija, and you can even use, you know, as a wine tumbler as well. So I like to make things that are functional,
Yes.
multifunctional.
Awesome. That's beautiful. And I've yet to use mine just because I've been like waiting for a special occasion, but I'm excited. It's also,
every day is a special occasion.
I know. So I was using my other one, but I can't wait to use it. I was also trying to be very careful. So, but yes, I'm glad to hear that from you too. So obviously, like we're talking about this because that's what I have. That's how I got to know you. But what else do you like to make? What else has been like your biggest seller? And then I want to get into just, so you'd said you posted it on social media and then it kind of took off. So I want to
Yeah.
talk to you about that. Like if you kind of posted it originally from your own personal account or if you made one for the business and then started selling it that way. But let's talk first about just kind of what are your favorite things to make and what have been your best sellers thus far?
Well, the mates, they are always a good seller, you know, for people that are new into the yerba mate or into the tea world, and then of course for the people that are acquainted, you know, with yerba mate. So that is always being a good sellout. I would say that the thing that it's popular that I love to make is like little miniature vases. You know, I make these tiny little miniature vases. They're very successful. I make sake sets. They're very successful too.
Yeah.
And the one thing that is really on demand is just giant tea mugs. I call them super mugs, you know.
Yeah. Yep.
So those
They're
ones
beautiful
are
too.
Thank you so much. Thank you, I appreciate it. So those are being a good sellout. I make other things too. I make like bowls. I make dinner plates. But because those are big, I like to make them as like a request or a special order.
Sure. Yeah. And do you do that? Like, so if somebody wanted something like specific, like within I don't know if like how that works, like with an engraving or just something special for somebody. Do you do that type of work as well?
Yes, as long as it's within my capability, and even if it's not, I'll do my best to learn, or to get as close as they are requesting. Like, it's not going to be exactly the same, but I'm going to do my very best to come out to where it can be close.
Yeah, like a tattoo artist, right? Like you just, if it's something that you haven't done, then you kind of learn how to do it. And then, I mean, with anything, right? Like martial arts too, that's what I teach and that's what my business is about. So let's go back to talking about the social media aspect now, because that's how you said, like, you put it up and already there was sales on it, which is incredible. Were they mostly on Oahu? And also, like I said, sorry, multi question parts here. Did you start out with it on your like personal account, or immediately you made one for Patree Artistry?
I started with my personal account, and then I started getting results, but more from people that I knew, like the Tango community,
Yep.
And then from friends, on Facebook. So I posted on Facebook first.
Sure.
And then I started getting good results. And then there is a coffee shop. Is it okay? There is a coffee shop in here. It's in Kaimuki. It's called Planto M. So they sell plants, and they also do yerba mate. So
oh, what? Really?
Yes, they have.
I have to find them.
Oh, they're super awesome. It's all the way in Kaimuki, and the owner, her name is Zoe, and she's such a sweetheart. She's such a good person.
I'll have to get her on here too, hopefully.
Yes, please do. She would be such a good influence, to whoever wants to start a business like that.
Yeah, for sure. Sorry, continue.
Okay. Yes. So then, my good friend, that was a good influence for me, and she knows Zoe, and the type of business that she does. She say, oh, your products would be good. Why don't you launch with her and see if she can co-sign it with you, to sell, your mate gourds. Mm-hmm. But then rather than making a consignment, we did an event. That it was about yerba mate, like somewhat informational and educational. Yeah. A night of tango, and then there were my mate gourds in there. So that was also, I was so amazed and so humble. I mean, that was like the fire that, the ignition that got all started,
Yep.
To see people liking, my art, which I make it with so much love,
Yeah.
And see people liking, admiring, and then that was the start. Okay, so I need to, to continue to do this. So the night was very successful, and that is how it started. And then from there, I started getting some, here and there. In the beginning, it's always a little bit slow because people don't know you, And then here and there, I started getting orders and orders, And then eventually, and I think that is getting to a different topic, but blending in.
Sure.
I started, because I've been doing my job for a very long time, which was very gratifying in a way, But because I was getting more orders and my time, making ceramics, it started to increase, and I find more enjoyment on doing ceramics. I started getting really, really burned out from my work, and then that's when I decided to take a break from my work, to give it a try and see how this goes.
You mean from the massage therapy, or
from the massage therapy?
Okay, because you were doing both, at that time. So obviously, because we have to maintain money.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So it was just difficult to find a balance, in between both worlds. So, I mean, but that was just an idea that it was like, sitting like, maybe I need, maybe it would be good because it was my job, but it was preventing me from creating, because I was just too tired at the end of the day to create. I was just completely out of ideas or out of inspiration to create. So I thought to myself, maybe let me give it a try. Let me just do a test, let me just take a few months off of work, and luckily, I had, the conditions to do that. Mm-hmm. And so I can start creating. So in the process of that, I made a post on Instagram. I think I put a reel on Instagram, and then soon after I had, like 2 minutes after I posted, I had an art gallery contacting me.
Wow.
Oh my God, I had an art gallery contacting me, A.KA Designs, They are an art gallery here in Kapolei, really nice, all like really good stuff. So they contacted me and said that, we are looking for a pottery artist and I really like your art. And we're also having a artisan market like a pop-up market, like we would love for you to come and join us. And I did, and I did really well. I had,
That's so
a
cool.
lot of good responses from it. It was just a trial, like, okay, let me give this a try, And from there, that's when I really got enjoyment and fulfillment, from doing craft fairs and craft markets.
Yeah.
And then I thought to myself, okay, I think I can do this, I think, because without the timing to create, I am not able to do this.
Right.
And since that was a priority to me, because I was just so tired and exhausted from my work,
Yeah.
Since this is a priority to me, since this is my dream, this is what I want to do for my life, like I need to give this a try,
Yep.
I need to give it a try. And I did, and here I am today.
Yeah. And it's not like you just decided, I mean, sometimes you can, right? Like you can drop everything and just go for this 100%, but you tested it first, and you had, I mean, again, like you said, you had the means to be able to do it, or the opportunity to be able to do it without having to worry maybe too much. But at the same time, it's just like, there are others out there who might not have that exact opportunity, but you guys can still try. It's just, obviously it's extra effort, and obviously it's going to be more work, and yes, you're going to be exhausted, but hopefully like, just like Patri did, it's just little by little. You can't expect it all at once, and I'm the culprit of that always, like in that small all or nothing mentality, even in the smallest of ways. But it's just like you can't always do it like that, because then you're just going to either constantly disappoint yourself or be waiting for something bigger to come, where it's just like the bigger things will come if you just keep building those small things and seeing how they go. But you have to try. Like if you don't try, like it's not going to happen. Like
if
it's
you
just
don't
not.
try, like I am a strong believer of the law of attraction, and it all comes, if it's with you planting that seed of desire and visualizing yourself doing it. But then in order for you to do that, you cannot just, take a giant step and just go to the top. It works in stepping stones, and then one thing leads to the other, like if I didn't post that, reel on Instagram, I wouldn't have that gallery, contacting me. So it's just the small things, that lead into bigger things.
And with that too, like with the Instagram thing, like it's not always going to be that first post, right? Like you probably posted a few different things, like it just maybe happened, or maybe it was the one for you. Maybe you just got it, again, you have that community that kind of shares and does that, which is great too. Like definitely lean into your community wherever that may be, and hopefully with positivity, like depending on what your community is, right? So having that, and especially like the Latino community, like they are so supportive. I mean, every community, like here in Hawaii, like they're super supportive. The Irish community, oh my gosh, like it's just they're there to they want to see things progress. They want to have a good time with each other. They want to share. Like I guess like those are a lot of like island culture things. But anyway, but that's the thing. Like Patri found it within the Tango community, and they shared it amongst each other, and then it kind of spreads, whether you know them or not. Then they know people who know people, and it just it does take time. Like it's frustrating because sometimes you just feel you might feel a little stuck because you don't know which way to turn. You don't know, even though you're like talking to people, it hasn't happened yet. But it's change takes time. If it's going to be effective change, it takes time. Nobody really likes fast change. So I learned that with my government stuff.
And then I would say that anything that is fast, it might not last as long, so it's really good for you to build a strong foundation first, and just be strong about it. There are going to be days that you are going to doubt and question yourself, but then the next minute or the very next day, you feel different about it, so you just have to be open for good opportunities in life too,
Yeah, and patient for that, because some people just don't give themselves to that next day, and
some people they just want it now. And I am I am a culprit of that too. Sometimes I want it now,
Yeah.
But and you just have to humble yourself, and okay, it's not gonna be now, but it will be.
Yeah, I mean they say that all the time in fitness too, right? Trust the process, which is absolutely true.
You're not going to get, abs, the next day, right?
Right. And it's also figuring out what works for you. So it's like ingredients for things, like the same things aren't always going to work for you that work for other people, which we know that, but like even for yourself, you have to experiment with what is sustainable, right? Because something works, but is it sustainable? Are you going to be able to like keep going with that? So, and that's what, like I said, Jeet Kune Do is all about. That's the art and concept of Bruce Lee that I am able to teach, that I've learned. And it's just, that's it. Like, it's all about kind of making things your own in a sense of like, okay, learning all of these things really well and then figuring out which ones are going to be best for you. But you have to know them very well in the first place to know if you're really going to be able to make them work, and through practice and trial and error. So, but yeah, so, okay. So talking about like keeping going and everything, how have you been able to manage, like, how long have you been doing this first off, Patree?
Since I established Patree Artistry, I established at the end of October.
And that is an LLC, right? Oh, end of October this past year?
This past year, yeah. So that is just a simple, so it's just a small stone, from the big dream,
Yeah.
So it's just a stepping stone. So
that's a big stepping stone. Congratulations, though.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So that is how it started. But I've been dreaming, I've been visualizing it happening for maybe the past year and a half, But then in order for you to do that, it's just like you say, you have to have the practice. You have to have a little bit of the skill. And in a way, like you have to be able to handle what you're asking for,
Yep.
So I would say that if I did that before, I probably wouldn't be ready. I wouldn't be ready at all. So everything matures at its right time.
Yeah. And again, it's not like you have to necessarily wait for that specific moment. Like, you did things leading up to it that created that maturity for you. So it's not like you have to, like, again, just another gym reference. That's like when people think they have to be in shape to join a gym. No.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes.
No, you work little by little. And then again, it's just kind of pushing past that comfort zone of taking a chance. And there's a chance that something's like going to be rejected, or just, you won't do something the way that you want to. And you might get, not reprimanded, but it might not feel good to feel that. But then you just kind of got to take it, absorb it, and try to transfer it or turn it into something that's going to be a lesson, right? A good lesson. And that's the thing. Like, we have to also, as business owners, be able to adapt and keep researching, keep trying to learn new things. As we mentioned before, Patree was just saying, like, if she doesn't know it, she's going to try and learn it. And, it's the same thing. If that's how your business is going to be even more successful, is you have to keep up with, what's not just what's new, but again, kind of keeping the old and incorporating the new, how it works for you and how it works for your clientele. So
exactly, like everybody has different needs and everybody has different tastes. Like I personally, one example, I am not really into abstract arts, but then some people are big fans of it,
Yeah.
So then there is a lot of times, that something like I am doing something on a wheel and then all of a sudden it flops, but then that turns into an abstract piece that I may not find it beautiful, but then someone else will love it, like beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah.
So you have to adapt to those things too. And you have to adapt with, constantly changing and recycling of things, social media, internet, everything,
Yeah. I mean, just draw a clock on it and you can call it a Gaudi. The flops.
Right.
So what's your vision? So like you said, you just established the LLC. So Patree Artistry LLC, which I think actually, hang on guys, I believe. All right. The card's a little messed up, but if you're watching this, I have the business card here that my friend gave to me. Very beautifully done.
Oh, so nice.
So, Patree Artistry LLC, which is awesome. Owner, designer, artisan. So what's the vision? What's the plan for your business? So that was a small step, you said. What's the vision going forward?
That is leading me to my bigger dream. I want to have a gallery. I wanted to blend in things, just like A.KA Designs, and she has her own gallery. And then something like Zoe, that she has her coffee shop and her plant store. And then I want to blend in Tango with it. I want to be like a super cool, trendy place, where I'm going to support artists, from pottery artists to painters, to jewelers, to chefs, to cooks, and I want to introduce Tango into that as well. So that is the ultimate big dream.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Which are leading me into it.
Have a milonga going on the whole time, like throughout, would be amazing.
Milongas, yes, so that's what I want to blend in. It's just going to be like a place into where, it hits Friday, it hits Saturday, or whichever day, you look forward to it so you can go, and have a good time, unwind,
Yeah, and the tango is like, especially the Argentinian tango, is so majestic. Like the music alone, but then the lighting that you usually find
Oh,
within, like
yes.
they call it. So there is a dance called milonga, like that's like a type of tango, but it's a faster
Yes.
one, which I could never get.
Yeah.
But they call it when like everybody kind of comes together. Like if you're going to milonga, like just basically everybody comes together, you
It's the
dance. Like
social event. It's the
thank,
social event, yeah.
yep.
So the
So it's a,
milonga, there's two milongas. There is the one with the fast-paced steps, and then there is the event, the social event,
right.
which we call milonga.
Right. So it's very like elegant and just like it's also very comfortable too. Like, yeah, you go there dressed, but then it's like it's very like I said, majestic. And I love
With that
that.
humble elegance, you know?
Yes, absolutely. So like having that with the like I could just picture it already for you, Patri, like just the lighting and then like, you know, the accents on the walls for the different artists that are there with
Yes.
the music going on in the back. Count me in. Count me in. Let's go. I'm ready.
Oh, for sure, most definitely. You're going to be my guest of honor.
Ooh, thank
You know?
you. No, I'm
For
super
sure.
stoked for you. So awesome. So that's the bigger vision. So how long are you here on Oahu for the foreseeable future that you know of? Like, is this where you're looking to establish that, or is it kind of up in the air? You're not sure like where you'll go, but you're going to take the business can go with you, right?
That is a great idea too, but my heart belongs to this island, so it is going to be in this island.
Awesome. Which it's not easy for like, first of all, it's not easy anywhere to own a business, but trying to establish it like here is also not if you're looking for like a space too, because obviously like property value and pricing.
Yeah.
But again, if you do find that community, there are opportunities that could potentially open up and then you help each other. So,
Yes.
which is incredible. So awesome. So, sorry, my brain totally went on where I wanted to go next with you. Oh, right. So, marketing. So we've talked about using Instagram. We've talked about you using Facebook. Are you paying for any ads currently, or it's just word of mouth marketing that you're using at the moment?
No, for now it's just word of mouth that I'm using at the moment. And then I do have an Instagram account, which is more like a portfolio, you know, for my work.
Sure.
You know, and that helps a lot, you know, and then also through Facebook. So at the moment, it's just social medias, but as my business grows, I'm definitely going to get like more professional and lean more into a business account. But at the moment, you know, like the regular social media is doing, and I'm getting great results with it.
Which is amazing. Like, you don't listen, if you don't have to pay for anything, definitely make it so. Like, I'm not asking that to be like, oh, are you doing anything? If you don't have to, amazing.
Yeah.
Like, because why not? You know, I hope to do that, and I hope to do that with my business. And so how often, that being said though, so it is word of mouth, obviously like person to person, how often do you tend to post on social media then? So if there's no like paid ads, so there has to be a certain amount also that you're being seen and that you're posting. So how often do you post on your stories? How often do you tend to post on your main? Like, is there a schedule for that for you? You're just kind of going.
You'll actually be very surprised. It's actually at random times. Like you see all of these social media influencers, you know, they say that you should post every day, at least twice a day. But I'm sorry, I don't have the time to be posting. I don't have the time, nor the content, you know, to be posting my things. So I am kind of how can I say? It's almost like a hard to get kind of a thing, you know, like I don't make myself so, because I think if you put yourself, you know, every day, twice a day, you're just going to be too available, you know, like people are going to start losing the interest, you know, of you. You don't become interesting anymore.
Yeah.
You know, so I would say probably once a week, whenever I have new inventory, you know, then I will post, you know. And I get really good results, you know, like whenever I post something, I get a good response to it, you know. I get either a good connection, you know, you know, or I get somebody, you know, ordering it from me. So I don't do it as the recommended amount say. So I kind of like play a little bit hard to get, but not completely unintentionally. I don't like to play those games, but it's intentionally like, oh my God, Patricia posted something. Let me see, you know, you become interesting, you know, like when you don't make yourself so easily available.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it depends on the industry and the business as well. But yeah, it's like you don't want to keep flooding people's Instagram or whatever with the same thing. So
Yes.
like with what I do, so I know like Gary Vee was saying, okay, you should be posting on TikTok 7 times a day. But as I was talking with somebody else, what I was talking with somebody else was that like, it's not, so TikTok I think is a little bit easier. At least I found it really annoying to start. I was like, I can't do this. Like this is another thing to learn.
I don't know how to work, making all of these beautiful, super cool tricks that I don't know how to do, and I don't have the time to figure it out.
Yeah. So TikTok, I will say, I have learned that the editing on there is actually a lot easier than Instagram, and you can link it up so that whatever you post on TikTok goes to Instagram. So now you're covering 2 different platforms, which again, you might not necessarily need, right? And I think you actually have a TikTok too, but like you said, you don't.
Yeah, but I don't know how to use it, and I just have it to have like somebody, because I thought that TikTok in a way was for like more
dance
it's
and
like
stuff.
An audience that just wants to like unwind and have fun, with other things, not really towards art and business. But then so no, you should do it because TikTok is a much bigger platform, than Instagram. So okay, I did it, but then I don't know how to use it. Like my daughter is the one who makes the the videos for me, like does the editing for me, because I have no idea.
Hey man, whatever works, even if she's got to do it. But it's fun because it's like also you could just, it doesn't have to be like everything in that one clip. So that's what I'm learning, right? Because again, that's the all or nothing mentality. So it's just like those 7 clips can be short clips that would make like one video really on Instagram. So it's like, okay, get a little shot of you, or three different shots, like one of you with the wheel, one of you kind of getting things ready, and then not even necessarily the end product, but like a little teaser. So that's like one thing that you could do too on there. So again, and these are things that I've learned, and like I was there too. Like I was like, why I don't want to do this. But then I learned that it was actually easier for me to kind of go through TikTok because I was covering that platform, and then it automatically sent through Instagram, and then whatever I post on Instagram automatically goes to Facebook. So I'm like, perfect. I don't have to do as much work. And again, it's like, it doesn't always have to be perfect. It's not saying that it's shit either. It's just like, okay, I'm going to get this content out there. I'm going to make sure it's at least kind of interesting enough that I would watch it. And then, just post it out. So it's just, again, kind of little teasers. It's not the whole thing. So even like, again, like what you want to set up in the future, right? So like little clips into, okay, here's the outside of like the milonga. And then like, here's a clip of like one person doing it, and then show like how you can even do like a ghost. Sorry, I'm just like now getting excited. You can even do like a ghost scene, but like through tango, like playing the music in the background and like having those visions like of the dance, and that'd be kind of cool.
I mean, it's only in movies, like because for a real potter, having somebody pestering you while you're throwing a piece, it's kind of irritating,
So that's a funny thing that you could do too, right? Like do a TikTok on like a joke, like a joking thing, like this is not real. Like get out of here. This is annoying. I can't do this. And it's just like,
right. Okay. Yeah, especially when you're making a tall vase, it's like so much concentration, and you're like so uncomfortable in that bench, and then you have somebody poking you and tickling you. Oh my God, that's only in movies.
please do that scene. Oh my God, I would laugh so hard. It'd probably go viral or whatever it is. Like just like start out with the music, and then somebody comes up and be like, "What are you doing?" I'm trying to like. I can't get this. I got a client waiting for me, so that would be funny. But that's just different ways that they make it a little easier. It's better music on there, so. And again, there's like that's what it is right now, right? But I'm sure there's gonna be something else that comes up that we'll have to learn. But again, that's just like our art. We're just kind of keeping up with it. And again, the hard part is you want to make sure that you don't spend all your day and all your time on the social media, right? Because we get into those scrolling habits, and then.
Oh, yes. I think, honestly, they're like subliminal messages into your subconscious, because you're scrolling. Okay, let me see what's next. What's next? Next.
So I'm adding to that. I'm like, all right, here, subliminal message to Tasco Fit Martial Arts and Fitness and the Warrior Women podcast.
Yeah, you just all of a sudden you see that you're trapped and you're like in a trance, You just wanted to go and do one thing, but then all of a sudden you see like 20 minutes, half an hour going by. Oh, my God,
Yep. So you've mentioned to us too, going back, so you had opportunity to spend time in Japan, which is incredible as well, because like, so my old bosses and also friends, they loved Japan, and they would talk about constantly how like it was a very cultural thing there to choose one thing to be very, very, very good at, which to me, I was just like, but I like to be good at a lot of things, which doesn't mean that they are not, but they make it like their craft, like just like you with your with the pottery and the ceramic making, like they will make themselves like the best of whatever it is. Like I know they talked about how one person like grew pickles and like they made every kind of like, they just made the best pickles like ever. And, you know, so it's within the culture to be super like refined and super technical and very, very good at what they do there. So you said you were able to take classes there, or no, you just found like,
no,
you were
I
able
just
to do some
found it, you know,
research?
because ceramics is quite a bit of an investment, and I was
Yeah.
fairly young at the time, you know, but it's an art and a craft that I've always admired, you know, like I would be, it's amazing, like all artists, all pottery professional artists, you know, it's just amazing from different parts of the world, you know, like whenever I work, you know, like I have clay all over myself, on my face, on my elbows, on my legs, on my clothes. Now, if you see a Japanese pottery artist, I mean, these guys, they can be wearing like a white Armani suit while throwing pottery. They will not get one drop of clay on themselves, you know. So that is just how precise and professional, you know, they are about their craft. And just like you say, you know, like they pick one thing and they're the best that they can be.
Yeah, which is incredible. But like you said, you and I get kind of bored if we're stuck with one thing. So, but
Yes,
it's also
absolutely, yeah.
and that's okay, right? Like you don't have to be like, if you want to be that precise about things, then yeah, go. Like definitely anything that you do, try to find the highest level of it and be able to train with that person. Now that also costs money. Like you said, it is an investment, but again, if you're in the industry and like you're able to kind of even just work your way up or whatever the case may be, in order to be able to kind of be in that presence and be surrounded by it, then that's super helpful. Like apprenticing under that. Like I had that amazing opportunity with for myself that I didn't even expect. Like I went to Argentina, like Spain, I studied abroad, and then I came back to New York, and all I could think about was where I used to train in New York City. So Anderson's Martial Arts Academy, I talk about them all the time on here. But when I got back, like I started being able to, well, first I had to lose some weight that I gained, like over like studying abroad because you indulged. So I did something.
Yes, you indulged. Just a once in a lifetime opportunity, you know, and you only did once. So eat the cake, you know, you know.
So I remembered that my instructor, Dasha Libin Anderson, she had taught me how to do like a kettlebell swing. I'd never known how to use a kettlebell in my life. I've seen them and it like exhausted me to do a 20-pound for like 20 reps. I could barely do that, but it definitely like got the glutes, it got everything. So anyway, I just remembered that. And then I saw she'd come out with DVDs and all this stuff while I was in Argentina, but they didn't ship to there. So I was like, okay, when I get back, getting those DVDs, I'm doing them. And then eventually I was able to find myself there. Like they helped me out and like I was able to come back and start taking those classes. And then I was like, well, I'd really like to get back into the martial arts, not just the fitness aspect of it. Which kettlebell kickboxing was awesome because it combined both martial arts and lifting, like it just martial arts motions. I teach that now here too, as well on the weekends. But yeah, so it was incredible because I told her like I didn't want to get like too greedy because they were already helping me out. So I told her that and she's like, oh, all right, well, I'll have to talk to, Sifu, who's the master of the school, and also her husband. And, you know, so whatever, I just kind of let it go. And I felt back. So I was like, oh, I don't want to seem like I'm taking too much. But then like the day after, I remember, I think it was like in February of 2013. And they had posted like, hey, it's that time again. They're looking for like an intern. And I was still in college too. So I was coming back for my last year of college. And I messaged them right away. I was like, hey, I'm interested. Like, and they're like, awesome. Like, you know, yeah, definitely come on in, try it. And then that internship lasted for months basically. And I was able to train martial arts again. And I could only train twice a week though with the martial arts just because I had to work and stuff. And then I eventually became like the front desk manager there. And then I had planned to move back to Argentina to do my master's program. And I was seeing somebody there at the time, so whatever. But it didn't end up working out in that way because I'd got offered something that I basically couldn't refuse from them. So an opportunity that I was just like, this is something that I think I should take. So
but it's a good problem to be faced with, you know, with an opportunity that you can refuse.
True. And it was in New York, but I'm a traveler. Like I want to live and breathe and just feel like life in other countries and just, you know, that's something that I wanted to do. And, you know, like I said, I was dating the guy there and that would have been fun to find out too. And whether it worked out or not, like who cares? Like just you're experiencing life down there. Like it wouldn't have been like, I'm leaving this place because it didn't work out. No, I'm just going to enjoy like whatever. We're good friends now, by the way. But so anyway, so yeah, like I said, I just got an opportunity to be able to really like be that front desk manager essentially at the time. I think I was still intern before, and then yeah, it just kind of was a little history after that. Like I'd been there until last year 2021, but the point is it's just like that I started there in 2010 when I was in college, just taking like a class from a friend that recommended it, and you just don't know where your life is gonna
That is
go.
amazing. You have that one friend, that one person that changes, your life.
Yeah. Shout out to David Clark who told me about the school in the first place. But yeah, we met in like Mandarin class too, so that was pretty funny. But anyway, so the point is just like you don't know where your life is gonna go. Like I didn't think I was ever, let alone like I never even realized I would make it to getting my black belt, which I absolutely am so grateful for. Like, and
That is
now
amazing.
I'm able, yeah, and now
it takes a lot of effort and a lot of hard. I mean, so if you got a black belt, so you're very well qualified for that.
And not only that, thank you so much. And not only that, I've had that for a couple of years now, but not all the black belts get a chance to apprentice under Sifu Dan Anderson as much as I had gotten to at the time. So, I mean, other people too, but like not all of them, right? So I was just super grateful, and it's because I was there. I was working there at the time too, and he kept being able to bring me in, and like that was amazing. So I'm super grateful, and like I've learned so much, and that's definitely something that I miss about being here. There's so much to learn as well, but I definitely miss that kind of training. But I'm so grateful to be here. Like I definitely wouldn't change that for the world. And I want to be able to bring what I've learned to here. So my point about all this is that apprenticeship, right? So getting that apprenticeship at the highest level. So not only did I work with like one of the greatest martial artists that not only that I know, but that pretty much exists in my opinion. But he was able to bring in other amazing, incredible legends to the school. Guru Dan Inosanto, Rob Common, who does like Dutch kickboxing, and so many others, Clark Gracie. So there's so many, Carlos Sopão too. So all of those guys, and all like so many more people, Daniel Lanero, like, sorry, just name dropping a bunch of people, to come in and train us. So, but that's what I'm saying. So if you guys can find that somehow, some way, just working in that industry that you want to work in and trying to find the people who are really good at it, then, you'll get better with your craft yourself. So, Patree, what would you like our listeners to get out of our conversation today? Like what is something that you want to leave them with so that they know that it's possible for them to do, or if they're already doing it, like just what's some advice that you would like to give them who are listening?
That is a very good question. I think life is short, for you not to follow your dreams, or to at least try, like we are constantly surviving, like if we came from where we came from, and we survived the things that we survived, so there should be no reasons. You are strong enough to follow your dreams. You are capable of it, and you shouldn't back down, because again, life is just too short, like I think I'm into an age right now, I speak for myself and I speak for others, like we see so many people, like going too soon, like leaving this dimension, too soon.
Yeah.
So like us going to sleep and waking up, it's actually a privilege, the older that you get, so, and I'm not saying that this is going to happen tomorrow, this is going to happen, but then it is not a just in case thing. You just never know. So follow your dreams before this happens, at least give yourself that chance, because it can only work, if you put a good intention right there, if you have a good desire for it, it can only work. One small thing is going to lead into big things. So stop wasting time, leave the job that you're not happy with, if you cannot leave the job that you're happy with, at least, build yourself up, save some money, just think about the future, just have that vision and then follow it. And then when you're ready, and you will know when you're going to be ready, it will happen to you. So don't hesitate, just trust yourself, and most of all, trust the process.
Well, that is amazing. And thank you so much for that. I always learn. This is why I really did this podcast, is because I want to learn, and I want to showcase all those other warrior women out there who are just working hard. And again, guys, just because I'm showcasing the warrior women here does not mean that this podcast is just for women to listen to. So whatever entrepreneur like you are wanting to be, like, definitely listen to this podcast, because you get so many gems, just like Patree provided us there too.
Thank you.
And yeah,
and
guys,
thank you to you, for making this available, because a program like yours, sometimes is the push, like somebody that is scared, somebody that is afraid, like a podcast like yours, with other positive messages is exactly what they need to get that started. So thank you for making this available and for making this possible.
Hey, it improves my quality of life, just like our businesses do. So, Patree, last but not least, and you're welcome. Last but not least, where can they find you on social medias? Do you have a website? If you don't have a website, is it just the social medias? And just tell our listeners here where they can find you.
Well, at the moment right now, you can definitely find me on social media and to Instagram, Patree Artistry LLC. And then from there, I'm going to keep you posted of my next future events. Like at the moment right now, I do craft fairs, I do craft shows. You are more than welcome to contact me for custom and for special orders. Just leave me a message, we'll talk, and then we'll see what we can work from there. Website is going to come soon. It's just at the moment right now, because I am doing everything myself, is just one step at a time,
Yep.
The thing when you have your own business or when you're starting, like the beginning, you do everything yourself. You cannot have somebody delegating delegating people to do things for you. So website is going to come in the future. It's just a lot right now. And in order to do something well is one thing at a time. You can multitask and do 10 things at a time, but they're not going to be well done. So just one thing at a time until you get to those 10s, make sure that they are well done. So yes, please find me on Instagram, social media, Patree Artistry, and we'll go from there. And thank you again so much. I am so humbled and so honored.
Yeah, no problem. And we're going to post everything, or I'm going to post everything in the description here so that you guys can click on it and be able to find Patree here. So Patricia Serafini, and then it's Patree Artistry. Patree is Patree, and then space artistry. So you can definitely find her there. And then are you in any, last question here, are you in any like regular artisan fairs or anything? Is there like a regular schedule for you? It's just kind of like pop up and you'll just post about it, and that's where we can find you.
I post like usually a week or a few days before, but I wanted to keep things new and innovative, I want to give every market a chance, So you will find me in Kailua, you will find me on town, you will find me on the North Shore, and it's a good reason to travel around the island, this beautiful island, and I will be so happy to see you all. Yeah,
absolutely. That's where my friend ended up finding you, here in Kailua, which is where me and my business Tasco Fit Martial Arts and Fitness is based out of, which for my own plug here, it is all levels, guys. So if you want to learn Jeet Kune Do, a little bit of Kali, even just fitness class on the weekend, the kettlebell kickboxing, we do have that. So definitely check that out. And who knows, maybe Patree and I will do an event one day with tango martial arts and everything else, and her artisan ceramics.
Great tango dancers, they are martial artists as well, because it's kind of, the same concept, of course, different arts, but I would say, it's just the structure, and the technicality, like small movements, can make a big difference.
Oh, absolutely. And I loved tango. Tango was my favorite dance. Like, it was the best thing. So I know we can talk forever, Patree, but I'm definitely going to be respectful of your time. And I just want to thank you again so much for being on here. And guys, definitely just support local, be out there. We're on Oahu. Obviously, like, I'm not from here, but, I'm so grateful to, just have a wonderful community here that it's accepted me. And I'm just trying to learn the most that I can, with Hawaiian culture too, and just be a part of it and share what I can. So, thank you so much, Patree, for being on. And I look forward to talking with you again. Yeah, of course. No worries. And guys, have a great day. Aloha.
All right.
A big mahalo to all you listeners out there for tuning into another episode of Warrior Women in the World of Entrepreneurship podcast. I'm so grateful that we've got another round of incredible warrior women for this season 2. And thank you so much for listening into season 1. If you have not already, please do so. You can find it on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, basically any audio listening platform, and also YouTube, because I have been posting them on there. So guys, keep tuning in, and please let us know what you think. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and just also download them off of those audio platforms. It helps us so much, and just keeping up the positivity. If you have anybody that you know who you would love to hear on this podcast, please send them our way and we'll get them on. Have a great day, everyone, and stay tuned for the next episode.